where you belong. Give it strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Toon Review for Monday night. This is the Newcastle United Transfer Show, of course. The window is a couple of months away yet. However, Newcastle United have been linked with some very, very decent players, it is fair to say. And we will be taking another deep dive into those players tonight, just to see what they would bring to Newcastle United, of course, should they sign. So a lot of good names have been linked. Who has Stato got up his sleeve tonight is the question. Are you with us now, Stato? Because, we started the show. We were trying to get your attention, but you were bobbing your head to what I can only describe as must have had a music site on.
I did, yeah. I was listening to music while I was prepping, players.
So
in the zone.
I mean, I was waving at you on the camera. Billy was putting ridiculous teeth in his mouth. I didn't have
the screen open.
And, well, that was quite obvious because you were just sort of moving your head along, bopping away. While me and Billy were, preparing as professionals for the show, while you were just sort of jiving away to yourself. It was very.
I mean, I was preparing with my headphones on in the zone.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, if you do enjoy tonight's show, guys, please, as usual, hit that thumbs up button. We may do another giveaway for a Daisy mug if we get enough likes. How many likes do we want tonight, guys?
I think we better wait and see how many's in the chat first, haven't we?
Oh, well, that goes up as the show goes on, Billy. I mean
we've set a standard now, already.
Yeah, it can't be less than 600, surely.
Yeah, we'll go for 600 again. 600 likes, we'll give another mug away. There you go. But please do hit that like button. And, of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so. Come and be part of an incredible community on here on the way to 25,000 subscribers, which will be remarkable. So please do subscribe and hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any videos. Also, you can donate to the channel if you do wish by hitting that super chat button, which is the $ at the bottom of the live comments. And that will also get your comment read straight out, as well as massively helping out the channel. So please do super chat if you can. And of course, you can become a member by hitting the join button just underneath the three of us. We have lots of member giveaways and perks and things like that to come as well. So thank you in advance for that, guys. Right. It's been a quiet day for once, I think, with news on Newcastle United, guys. I mean, I was looking through the sort of reports and any sort of journalistic interest that I could pick up, and there wasn't really anything there. There's a couple of news articles about looking at certain players and things like that, but that seems to be the case nearly every day now. I mean, I'm looking now, and Jamal Lascelles was so excited after what Fabian Schär's done recently. He's excited for where he can go in his career still. Can Dortmund cause an upset at St. James's Park? Why, absolutely not, man. One thing I did want to pick up was Paolo Di Canio has made his mouth go regarding the Tonali situation. I don't know whether you've seen what he's had to say, but he's basically called Tonali stupid, hammering into him basically for what he's done. Basically having a little dig at the Newcastle United fans as well for the applause that they gave him the other night. And I think he's a fine one to talk, Billy, is Paolo Di Canio, given his past.
Well, absolutely. He's well known for his, shall we say, far right wing tendencies. Fascist sympathiser. has no right really to talk about other people's morals and things. And we all think Sandro Tonali's stupid in the first place for getting into what he did. Maybe stupid ain't the right word. Maybe naive's the word.
Silly, naive, yeah.
But once it becomes an addiction, I don't think you can criticise someone for that. That is, if he is addicted, of course. They will find out. We shall see what goes on further on. But to then criticise the Newcastle United fans for supporting him just smacks of jealousy to me. An ex-Sunderland manager trying to, he's playing to his fan group, I guess.
Yeah.
But once Sandro Tonali, this has happened to him, and the manager stood by him, and he wants us to get behind him, we're going to do that, aren't we? Because we trust our manager, we trust what's going on.
And of course, Alex, Mr. Di Canio, famous for one of the worst ever things to happen in the Premier League when he pushed the referee over. The ultimate sign of disrespect, shall we say?
Well, I mean, he's not really been involved since, has he? So I don't really know what grounds he's got to talk about anything. Like he's an ex-pro who got a job, and now seemingly, where is he?
Well, I don't know where he is. Somewhere in, I don't actually know.
His trousers dry
doing interviews for a bit of money, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously we've had some comments in the chat about Mr. Di Canio, but
I mean, the assault on the referee was a bit. I mean, the referee did make a real meal of it, didn't he?
Well, I mean, he took a backward step for around 800 steps before he finally fell over. But I think that's what made it more
hilarious.
Well, should we say funny? I mean,
it was funny. I think it was funny.
Yeah, indeed. Julie J saying, seeing that Tonali trip you pick everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I put it on the Toon Review Instagram page, just saying a picture paints 1,000 words. And I think it did, Alex. You know, the way, that picture is kind of, I think will live in the memory of a lot of fans for a long time to come. It's an iconic photo.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I know Jamal Lascelles is the captain on paper, but I don't want to disrespect Lascelles, but
no, I don't think you are.
Trippier is the guy, isn't he? He's just the guy. It's not that Lascelles isn't a leader and isn't experienced, but Trippier has a lot more experience than that at a higher level, international experience, and it's just not comparable. And he's taken. He didn't have to take this much responsibility, but he's decided to, and he's doing very well with it. It's not, we used to have this conversation about the armband. I don't know if you remember, we used to talk about Shelby and a few different people in the squad taking the armband and the pressure it was. We don't talk about that anymore because Kieran Trippier is just amazing. It doesn't affect his game. He's just amazing to every player on the pitch. He coordinates with the coaching staff so well. Mid-game, he's like shouting at the bench saying, are we doing this? Do we change to this? He's getting instructions. He's just the guy for everything, whether it's player support or, he's just the mediator between everybody, between the media, the fans, the players, the coaching staff. He's just the guy. He's amazing.
Yeah. John says, I have to agree with Paolo. The Tonali loving was a bit much. I have seen some people say that,
All right, Janice. I mean, John, sorry.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, look, listen, people are going to have different opinions of it. I mean, a lot, well, not a lot, but I've seen a few comments today saying, the fact that he was pushed forward and, we're given a massive sort of applause to a player who has broke the law, basically. He's done illegal betting, yet we're treating him like a hero.
Italian law.
Well, Italian. Here. Well, no, it is. You can't bet on your teams over here either, Alex. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so I get that. Yeah.
But some fans look at it and say, "Well, hang on, you're applauding somebody who's been very silly. He's going to get a massive big ban. Isn't going to be part of the side, and he's basically." For illegal betting, we're treating him like a hero. I mean, I don't know what you guys think of that. I'm just, that's not my
we're not, though.
opinion.
I feel like that's being taken well out of context.
It's not hero worship.
It's support for the addiction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's support.
That's what it's for. Exactly, Alex.
It's empathy. It's to state that we're behind him, and it's a recognition and an acknowledgement that he's made a mistake. But you're wearing the black and white. you're playing for us, we'll stick by you. It's the acknowledgement of that he doesn't need to drop his head, that we're here as a fan base, and it's necessary and it's fantastic. And I don't think I think people are just maybe taking it the wrong way. Take a step back, be open-minded. Again, football fans are becoming way more educated with the game and way more knowledgeable about this stuff. You've got to take a step back and understand what do you want us to do? Boo him? Like, we need to help the young lad, really. Come on.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think the fact of the matter is,
you've hit the nail on the head. Go on, Billy.
The fact of the matter is, he's a footballer who's come to this country to ply his trade. That trade's going to be taken away from him for however long it's going to be. Yeah. And he needs to know that the people that he's come to entertain are still with him. And when he comes back, he's not on his own. He's got a family around him, even though he probably won't be able to visit the ground or training ground, ridiculous as those rules are. Yeah, he'll have something to come back into the ground to have as a support. Yeah, and I think you need to know that, because the kid looked forlorn, didn't he? Until heard the claps and applause.
I mean, you could tell by his face. Yeah,
he got emotional. Realizing how much the love for him is as a footballer. Mm-hmm. Okay, we can still criticise him as a person for doing what he did, but as a footballer, we're there to support him.
Yeah, 100%. Keith Dides, thank you for gifting yet another 5 Toon Review memberships. Absolutely incredible generosity, Keith. Thank you so much. And the people that have benefited from those get a 3 months membership. And of course, it's up to you if you want to continue that membership when your 3 month runs out. They have gone to Mason, Luke Davies, Nort, Dan T, and J-Dog Fishing. So welcome all to Members Club for a month. And of course, it is up to you if you want to continue on after that. But thank you so much, Keith. Incredible generosity again. Johnny Ola says, De Canio has a tattoo of Mussolini on his back. He can't lecture anyone.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Barry the Beast says, Lascelles isn't the captain. No point us pretending. Well, he is the captain. And, nobody can accuse him of not giving some captain to performances over the last few games, because he has. And he's still the leader, but let's face it, we have a team now who have leaders on the pitch everywhere. Callum Wilson is a leader. Bruno is a leader. Joe Linton is a leader. Yeah. Dan Burn, Kieran Trippier, the 2 centre-backs are leaders in themselves. So we have leaders all over the pitch. And I think that's what makes this team so very, very special. Is because if we look over the years, Alex, we've never had that for a long time, where we've had, a gelled team like we have, a togetherness in that team where, they will all give each other advice. They're all there for everybody. And there's just a fantastic environment in that dressing room now.
Yeah, I mean, a while ago, Cher wasn't a particularly good leader 3 or 4 years ago. Or at least not visually to me on the pitch anyway. Lascelles stepped up when he was very young. Well, I'm not singling him out. I've simply just started.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's not that he's not a leader. Dubravka, sometimes a couple of errors throughout the season, flapping at corners and stuff. It's difficult with him. And then you've got Shelvey with some discipline issues on occasion. You'd got players who got a bit stroppy. So yeah, it was tough, to be fair. To there weren't enough players to really stand out as sort of senior pros. Lascelles was, ultimately that's why Rafa went with a 22-year-old centre half, because he stepped up like a man and he did a good job back in the day, Lascelles, and that's why he still deserves the armband. He's done the hard miles for it, and you can't take it away from him. So he is still the club captain. Trippier, for all intents and purposes, is the kind of the on-field captain. But Lascelles has done the hard miles. He deserves it.
Yeah, I would say he was the off-field captain as well, because the media, as you said, always go to Trippier first, don't they? He's the one they want to speak to. You very rarely see Jamal being interviewed these days. But I agree with you. When Rafa was manager, Jamal Lascelles was literally the only candidate for it. I don't think there was a single leader inside apart from Jamal Lascelles.
I agree with that. I saw that Nigel, Italian reporter from Milan. Well, he's similar to what Keith Downey is over here. There is a sort of suggestion that Tonali's going to get a 2-year ban with 1 year suspended. I think that's incredibly heavy, though. But of course, it depends on what he's done. If he is at the centre of it all, then I expect him to get a big ban. But if he's not, then we'll see. But I expect we'll hear more about this ban very, very soon, to be honest. I hope it comes out sooner rather than later, that we're not all kept waiting for too long. But that's not up to us, of course. Milo says an addiction is like an illness, so why don't people treat it like one? Well, I think they did on Saturday. I think that's what Billy and Alex are saying. The applause that he got was to wish him well, to let him know that he's got the support behind him. Yes, he's been silly for what he's done. However, he has to go off and sort these problems out now, and it's not very easy at all to sort out. And that's what we mean by that. We will stand by him as a club, as a fan base, and wish him well. And that's exactly what they were doing. David says we know now with all within the legal walls. Absolutely. Arturo says bring Paulinho and Kingsley Coman, and we win the Champions League. Arturo, you have a very, very stretchable imagination, I should say, as to who we should bring in at times. Frost T. Hammer, thank you for your €2 super chat. Environment wasn't there for the leaders to emerge back then.
I beg to differ. I think that's the time when you need your leaders.
Yeah, but you look at the team at the time, Billy, and who was going to lead us back then when Lascelles got the job? I mean, you look at the pitch and you think, who was there?
No, someone's got to step up. That's what I mean. Leaders aren't natural. Sometimes they have to create themselves. Lascelles did to a certain extent. I think when you're in them situations, you're in the trenches, you need leaders. Yeah. I think that's when they establish themselves, like Lascelles did. He was the only one. Yeah, he was the only one.
Indeed. Mark says, I see Milan have said they knew nothing about Tonali's betting. Well, they were always going to say that.
What else were they going to say? Yeah,
exactly. J-Dog says, we have to stand by a very talented man who made a mistake. Oh, and he is a Toon player. Exactly. Dan T says, should we boo our own players instead, like Man United fans? Exactly. We don't want to stoop to their level. Dan's right. We're supporting one of our guys' sickness and health and all that. Exactly. Alex put it perfectly. It was to wish him well and support him. We're not cheering what he's done by any stretch of the imagination. But unfortunately, that's how some of the media and some bozo opposition fans will see it. Look at them applauding him for what he's done. But I do think, was there not a few Sunderland fans, supporting Adam Johnson? Let's not forget all that.
Him. They were. There was cheering for him.
Yeah. So let's just, Side Reader says, evening all. I made it to St. James's for the match at the weekend. The atmosphere was amazing. Great stuff, mate. I'm glad you made it. Alessandro Minetti. Sorry I'm late, fellas. Well, you're here now, buddy. Thank you very much. Simon says, not treating him like a hero. It's providing support and belief. That's all fans can do. I mean, I've seen a few photos of Tonali's face, and he did look forlorn. He did look, dare I say, tired, exhausted, and that's understandable, Billy.
He's been through an awful lot, hasn't he? And he doesn't know what the end result's going to be yet. So lots of pressure on the young man's shoulders and things that probably wouldn't expect to be happening. As maybe when he started his career, that he'd be in England playing football for one of the top sides in England. Playing in the Champions League and having this kind of potentially being taken away from you. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? And I'm not sure he even understood how much he is loved by the Newcastle fans until Saturday. Yeah. Because he hasn't looked happy, and whether that's down to moving away from Italy or knowing what's going to happen. But he knows now that he's got 52,000 and the rest of the Newcastle fan base behind him now, which can't be a bad thing for him. It's got to improve his mood somewhat.
Ian says, is he allowed to come and watch games? I don't know. It depends what the ban states.
Tony wasn't allowed to.
No, but might be different. The ban will stipulate that there'll be, obviously, when he gets the ban, there will be some inclusions within the ban. We'll just have to wait and see what comes out. Mary says support is needed when you get sick, even when you can't see the illness. Yeah. And, it's a mental health issue as well, isn't it? I mean, it's awful. Right, Alex, who is the first player on? Hang on a minute. Revenger32 has sent a super chat of 329,000 Indian rupees.
Indonesian rupiah.
Indonesian rupiah. Thank you very much, Billy, for putting me right on that. Thank you very much, Revenger32. Maybe convert that to sterling next time, matey, and that'll set us up for quite a few years. It's Indonesian rupiah. Usually you get surprised by the nominal. Tonali is young, prime age to learn and improve. Sad we won't see him for a while, but I believe when he comes back, he will be ready to dominate. I hope so. I really do hope so. If he comes back a better player, a better man altogether, which is what he probably wants to do when you go through. Alan says, Merson said it right. A long ban gives the addict more time on his own. It's not going to help. Yeah, we spoke about that, Bill. It kind of freezes them out, doesn't it? It freezes them out of the game that they love and a lot more time on the hands. But anyway, our first player tonight is Victor Boniface. Now, I don't think that's how you pronounce his name at all, but it's Victor Okor. I would say it's something like Boniface or something like that, but being African, so I would go with Boniface or something like that. But
Boniface.
What are you laughing at?
Boniface.
Well, you can't call him Boniface, can you? Because he looks like he's got a decent jawline. You know what I mean? He may well have a nice bony face, but
English is kind of a well-spoken language in Nigeria, and the fact his first name is Victor tells me that maybe it is Boniface or Boniface.
Well, it could be like a derivative of Bonnie Pretty or something. It could be like beautiful face or something.
Yeah,
could be.
I think we're going a little too far into this, guys. Alex, obviously he started the season brilliant at Leverkusen. He's on fire. His goal ratio, you can see it there, is brilliant. I mean, this guy is a talent, so it would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so there's a few lighting up the Bundesliga this year. Obviously, Guise, or however we say his name, at Stuttgart is obviously scoring at an alien rate at the moment. It's ridiculous. Boniface as well is scoring at a ridiculous level. 7 goals, 3 assists is outrageous. You've got to think that Isak's on 6 and is second only to Haaland. Boniface is on 7. So he's well and true, and he's got 8.8 xG as well. So he's been shortchanged there. He could be on 9, all things considered. So for those who don't know who he is, Bayer Leverkusen. We've spoken a little bit about Bayer Leverkusen recently. Obviously, Hudson-Odoi we looked at ages ago, 12 to 18 months ago, and Hudson-Odoi went to Leverkusen on loan for a season. I think now he's at Forest. So we've people in the footballing world have been curiously keeping an eye on Leverkusen with Xabi Alonso as the manager. They've got some interesting players. Of course, Florian Wirtz, we've looked at on a transfer show before. He's the young German midfielder who is like an absolute starlet. They've got loads of good players. But this guy is leading the line at the moment. They're number 22. He's an absolute beast. He's only 22 years old as well. By the end of the season, he will be 23 years old. So goals in the Europa League as well. Leverkusen had a really bad start to last year, but managed to drag themselves back into some sort of European places. Didn't quite get back in the Champions League, but they are one of the people who have only who have been challenging sort of Bayern at the top. 2-2 draw earlier on in the season. Playing in a really good team, good international team as well with Nigeria, who are doing quite well. So let's scroll down and have a look at the important stuff, which is the data. So there we go. Offensive statistics, rather nice.
If we're looking at just a tad,
yeah. Well, shot creating actions is it's lovely to see a nice spread of data here. So not only is he doing a lot himself, so his shots total 5.11 is in the first percentile. Well, it's in the 99th percentile. Sorry, wrong way around. 5 shots a pop, 5 shots a game for your striker. It's not bad. Mm-hmm. Every single game, your striker's getting 5 shots, 5 shots, 5 shots. That's outrageous. That's so useful. Assists is up there as well. Well, very up there, 97th percentile for the amount of minutes he's playing. His XG is good. His actual conversion is good in terms of the XG. He's actually underperforming slightly, as we saw above. And then we have a look at what is he good at in terms of ball progression and on the ball stuff. Progressive passes are okay. They're above average at 1.88 progressive passes, but it's what he's doing with the ball. Again, progressive carries 3.38 per 90, 97th percentile is great. And then when he actually takes you on with the ball, 99th percentile, 3.31, 6'2" as well. So he's, reminds you of anybody? Anyone?
Mr. AI.
Well, I'll show you in a minute. We've got a couple of lads to compare him to down here with nice charts, but we'll get there. So defensive statistics, to be desired. I would prefer this to be a little bit higher for a 6'2", guy. I think he'll improve in that regard, though. I'd like to see this data get a little bit, better. Stat matches, Lukaku, Mbappe, Lewandowski, Moani, Thuram, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's outrageous. It's very good. It's very, very good. Put it that way. So
Well,
if you
apparently
wanna
his
see-
name's pronounced as it's written, so Boniface.
Boniface. Oh, very nice. So important data. So basically, this nice little graphic is this data just put into a chart. So what we're going to do is we're going to overlay Alexander Isak on top of this. There you go. So green, you've got Boniface. Red, you've got Isak. So as you can see here, Boniface so far well, not just this season. This is based on 1,200 minutes. So Boniface at the moment, higher non-penalty goals, higher shots total, higher assists, higher non-penalty XG plus expected assists, higher shot creating actions, higher passes attempted, higher progressive carries, higher successful take-ons. It's pretty ridiculous. It's insane considering how good Isak is. 6 goals this season, and we know Isak is an elite player. We know that. Isak obviously spiking in some defensive statistics. That's to be expected with the way we play. We have already referenced that we'd maybe like to see this improved. So Isak's better at passing, progressive passing, but you can see the important bits here. He's doing them. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. The kid's brilliant. And then if we swap this,
I wonder what Isak's kind of defensive stuff was like when he played for Sociedad. I wonder if that kind of has increased since he come to Newcastle.
potentially. I mean, the thing is with Isak is you can swap him to an attacking midfielder, which he does very different things. And you can't do that for Boniface. So obviously Isak is a bit different. Isak is more flexible. He can drop deep a little bit better. He can play wide. Isak's got a little bit of different flavour to his game. But let's overlay Callum Wilson and you'll see the difference. Callum Wilson is very much, I will touch the ball in the penalty area and I will do all the goal stuff. That's basically Callum Wilson. Obviously, FBref, since it got taken over by Opta, has dropped its pressures and a lot of off-the-ball data is not really there. So apologies. There is going to be a lot more that we could show you for Wilson that's just not on this graphic. We will possibly invest in something in the future so we can show better data. But this is FBref for now. But you can see Boniface is doing everything that Isak and Wilson can do, plus more. And at the moment, we can't give Isak and Wilson enough praise. So the fact that this guy is performing to this standard is pretty outrageous. If we look at his SOFA score, 193 centimeters, we've seen that, 6'2", so he's a good height.
22 years old. I mean, this guy's he's still a kid.
Ground draws, ball control. I don't know if that's completely true. So we'll go into. So this was his most recent game against Wolfsburg. So they were playing a funny wing back shape with him spearheading the line. You got Grimaldo and Frimpong either side. I mean, this is a terrifying team. It really is. So he dropped to 7.2 in this game. We can see average positions. And yes, I am going to utilize the feature that I discovered the other day. So we can see this is very similar to how we line up, just the reverse way round. So normally we'd have Bruno as the sole player in this middle bit, and we'd have a wonky 3. But their left back is obviously because it's so Grimaldo's doing Trippier basically for them, just the other way round. So even though they're lining up with wing backs, their actual average positions is very similar to. Oh, it's decided to refresh the screen. Let's go back. So their average positions are actually very similar to how we look, just mirrored. Because Grimaldo's playing that Trippier role on the left-hand side, basically. And you can see Boniface spearheading that, and you can see where he's making his runs. Very Isak-y, to be fair. And then we've also got... should we have a look at the data for this game as well? So he played 90 minutes, got an assist, 4 shots. Again, backs up, high shot volume. Three successful dribbles out of. He tried 6, missed a couple of chances, got a key pass. Duels were okay. Very, very involved. And then just as a nice litmus test, we've got his game against Bayern. Obviously very difficult against Bayern, but it's important, if we're looking at a player to bring to the Premier League, we need to try and look at how he plays against the best. So Leverkusen drew 2-2 with Bayern. They played the same shape, again, very similar with Wirtz on the left instead of Adli that time. And if we have a look at average positions, let's go to... There we go. So we can see slightly different that time. It was Frimpong higher up. They've got that funny 3 shape. And the 22, there you go. You can see what he's about. He's contributing kind of, but his role is get in the box and do important things.
It's very interesting there, Alex. If you look at his player rating for that game, he got 6.8.
I mean, it wasn't great, but...
No. What I want to say is he got 6.8, yet Harry Kane scored and got 6.9.
Yeah.
So... I know SofaScore can be very stingy a little bit with their player ratings, remember? So I think that's.
But I mean,
that's
look
not
at
a
the
bad
data
thing to
though.
note.
He'd actually got 8 shots off. 2 were blocked, 4 off target, 2 on target. So if my striker's taking 8 shots a game, I'm happy. If my striker's taking 8 shots against Bayern, hell yeah, that's amazing. That means that the chances were created, and you've got a striker who's hungry and willing to take on shots. Completed 4 dribbles, missed 2 big chances. Okay, he's still young. I'm sure he's still got loads of goals, all things considered. 3 accurate long balls as well from a striker. Got a key pass. There's some really nice things here to enjoy. Like he's putting up some good numbers against a variety of different teams. I mean, if I take you back to his actual main page, you can see he was actually tearing it up against some of the weaker teams in the Europa League. He got a goal and an assist in a 4-0 victory against Heidenheim, a goal and a penalty. So you can see here he's getting more and more against more difficult teams. A little bit of a drop in rating here against Mainz and Molde, but still. Right, well, we'll move on to transfer marks. So 3 caps for Nigeria with 1 goal. I'm assuming he's about to get a bucket load more caps based on how he's playing at the moment. So transfer contract expires 2028. So he's got quite a long contract. I believe Foxy said, just as I was about to screen share as well, that we could have picked him up for a little bit cheaper in the summer, as was Guise as well,
wasn't it?
We didn't go for it. So
yeah, Barry the B, thanks for your $4.99. And a question I was going to ask: how much do you think he'd cost? Also, is it worth buying another striker whilst our 2 are performing so well? I personally think we need a right winger. You can never be too short of strikers, to be honest, Barry, in my opinion. But the cost is going to be, I think that's risen quite a bit since the summer and since he started so well. This guy is a quality striker. I mean, Billy, what do you reckon for value? I mean, I know it says 40 million euros there, but
it cost a bit more than that.
Yeah, I think you look to at least put another half on top of that, 60 million minimum, I would imagine. And the fact he's only just joined in this close season makes it, I think it would be hard to get hold of, to be honest. But if we could, of course, it'd be a great signing for us. Yeah, he's young.
We got him for 20.
Quick.
Could it maybe be a summer deal rather than a January one, guys?
Potentially, but potentially again that might even increase the price because he might get another 20 goals by then at the end of the season.
Yeah,
and that could double that 40 if he goes to 80, couldn't it?
Gift Orban's on there as well. They've got some. This agency's got some really interesting areas on it.
He gives nice presents. Him.
Terrible, Paul. Terrible.
Thank you.
But yeah, anyway, that's the first player, Boniface. Boniface.
It's Boniface. I'm going with Boniface. Revenger 32. Thank you for another 35,000. Which are they, Billy? Again, just remind me on
Indonesian rupiah.
There you go. Is Brennan Johnson doing well? And would he be good for us? Well, he's gone to Tottenham. I don't think there's any chance of Brennan Johnson coming to Newcastle now.
Hasn't broken to their first side though. He's on the bench most weeks, isn't he?
He is.
Hasn't been able to displace Kulusevski as of yet, but Kulusevski is playing well, isn't he, season? So that's why they're top of the league. Well, near the top of the league. If they would draw tonight, they're back on top. So
yeah. Who are they playing tonight?
Fulham.
Oh, well, Fulham. That should be a win for Tottenham, to be honest. Davey says by January they'll be queuing up to join us, especially if the Champions League is still looking good. I mean, if we do qualify for the next, because you're not cup tied in the Champions League, of course. So these players that will look at Newcastle and think, "Wow, look who they were in a group with, and they've qualified for the knockout stages." It could actually work in our favour for January to get some real stars in the door.
Definitely could. However, January is a notoriously hard market to do deals with, isn't it? Prices seem to be vastly inflated, as we saw when the first season Eddie got here. It was hard for us to get the deals we wanted, and we spent a whole month trying to get a loan deal for a Man United player that was then out of contract at the end of the season. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I think we've learned from that now, though.
Oh, without a doubt. And I've seen that today he's kind of turned down Saudi football because the money ain't good enough. Saudi football, the money isn't good enough.
Well, guys, we're almost at 300 likes halfway through the show. So we've got another 300 likes to get for us to give away another Daisy mug. So please, if you haven't yet, take time out and just hit that thumbs up button for us if you're enjoying the show. Please do subscribe if you're new. And, of course, hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when we schedule our live shows or we upload any recorded ones. And please do keep on donating to the show if you do wish by hitting the $ at the bottom of the live comments. and that will also get your comment read straight out as well. And it really, really does help the channel with equipment, etc. Right, so we will move into the next one, Alex. Who is next on the list? It is
the same guy.
Oh
No, I just didn't have it up because I didn't want people to cheat and know.
well, we'll just take it down.
People know who it's going to be. It's going to be this guy.
Okay, it is Morgan Gibbs-White, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so again, don't crucify me. I'm aware that there are certain positions that a lot of the fans are interested in recruiting for. I know there's been a lot of talk of.
Hang on, Alex. Hang on, matey. I just have to address Arturo's comment here because he says you could put the show on at another time to not miss Fulham. I will have to leave earlier now. Arturo, I don't know whether you've noticed, mate. We're a Newcastle United channel, and Fulham being on the telly means nothing to us. When Newcastle United,
a Fulham shirt as well as a Wolves shirt.
Well, probably, but why on earth would we put the show on at a different time to accommodate watching Fulham? I mean, Fulham. I'd rather watch my feces dropping from my anus to the toilet bowl than watch Fulham right now. So, it's no. Anyway, carry on, Alex.
It's because he wants to watch Paulinho. That's why, because he's got his favourites.
Well,
so Gibbs-White. And just for people who are maybe new to the channel, because we've had a lot of new subscribers recently and stuff, and a lot of new people join us. Obviously, we did a lot more transfer shows in the summer. This is a feature that we do quite regularly on the channel. It's not as much recently because it's been more matches. However, we've let the rumours accumulate, and these are not just players that I'm picking for shows. These are players which have been linked in the media by various news sources that get some traction. I don't tend to go within the know stuff unless it gets also validated by a media source. I try and get, and we try and entertain it, even if it can be a bit weird. But Gibbs-White is a name that's come up quite a lot in the last
that's what it's all about.
Weeks. Yeah, I mean, Morgan Gibbs-White's come up a lot recently. It's an interesting shout because I think he started off as sort of midfield / wide, and now all of the lineups I've seen him in for quite a while now have him as part of a front three or in a front line or in a 10. He's playing a lot further up. And obviously, Billy and I think yourself a few times, Paul, watched England in the youth levels over the summer. And Gibbs-White, some of the link-up play was lovely. The 1-2 touch and goes. He looked like one of the senior pros in that young squad. And I mean, he's a little bit older, so ideally he should be. But he looks really technically gifted. He's ambitious. He's energetic, tries to get forward. And yeah, so far this season, it's not really worked for him in terms of goals and assists. I think last year he was quite, he got an absurd return, and we'll have a look at that. So at the moment, contracted to Forest, 80,000 a week until 2027. Still a good age. He'll be 24 when this season expires. So a really good age profile for us. Right-footed, young, hungry English guy, ticks all the boxes to a point. So let's scroll down and have a look at the important stuff. So maybe not initially the most impressive stuff. However, it's about link-up play. You can see the progressive passes are there. You can see the physicality's there to a point as well. I feel like the data doesn't necessarily reflect everything he can do on a football pitch. He's playing in a Forest side that I feel like is only just started improving technically on the pitch. He was having to do a lot of dirty work. And if I show you what I mean, I wonder if we can see last season's scouting report. God, are we in the 23-24 season? God, we are, aren't we? Jesus, that's gone quick. 22-23. So this is last season's as well. So it's much of a muchness. It's, again, higher assists and slightly higher offensive data, higher shot creating actions, slightly higher progressive passes. So if anything, his data's gone down. But let's go back to this season's and see who he's playing like. Is this season's? Yes, it is. So some interesting stat matches on here. You've got Mbuemo, who we rate quite highly. You've got Lorenzo Pellegrini as well, who is very decent at Roma. Maybe not give me the best light. Huh?
Zoom in a bit, mate, please.
Oh, for these guys.
Yeah.
There you go. So those are the stat matches. Ronnie Lopez as well, very highly rated. I think Tifo did a video on him about possibly coming to sort of a Manchester United or somewhere. And let's scroll down. So just to show you last season, he had a cracking return last year with 34 starts for Forest in the Premier League, just under 3,000 minutes with 5 goals, 8 assists. So a lot of, loads of contributions there, and he's been around for quite a long time. To be fair, he's done a lot of hard grafting. He's had a few loans. Obviously, he came through at Wolves, and not bad in terms of this kind of stuff. Morgan Gibbs, is he hyphenated? He's hyphenated now. There he is. So we've got an 18 capturing and another 21. So he's got that international pedigree that we like. I definitely think we can improve his. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't care about the data necessarily. We care about what he can do on the pitch. So we've got citizenship. Oh, dual Jamaica citizenship. Interesting. So we've already seen it says 2027 market value. I don't know how much we would get for him. How much did Forest pay for him?
It seems
30-ish?
40 million euros.
Quite a lot actually for someone that.
Yeah,
I think they played 20 odd, didn't they? 25, something like that, maybe more.
And Forest don't really have any reason to sell. They've got quite a lot of money, and unless they get in a bit of a sticky
They've got quite a lot of
situation,
players as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, unless Forest find themselves down the bottom end of the table, I think I can't see us getting him. I mean, first of all, where does he play in our current system? If we want to start changing shape, unless we see him because of his energy, unless we see him as maybe an 8, we could play him as an aggressive 8, maybe doing what Longstaff does. Very possible, because he does a lot of that running into the box kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It would need to be some sort of conversion, though. It would be similar to Anthony Gordon in a sense, different profile of player, different age. However, I feel like it would be, you can see exactly what he's got raw attribute wise. We've seen what he can do at Forest. I think it would be more of, we're going to have to mold him to play our way, mold him possibly even into a different position, into an aggressive 8, maybe on that right side. Unless we're going to try it, this is maybe we're looking at this kind of player as a way to move forward into playing a 10 in the future, changing shape, having different options. I don't know. I don't see how Forest accept a bid. I feel like if we throw 50, they'll say no.
Yeah.
So I just don't see a world in which we get this accepted.
The thing is, Alex,
strange
I'm not entirely sold on him. I have to be honest.
Don't let the data fool you. You do need the eye test as well.
No,
I know it's in my name, but eye test is very good.
Yeah, I've seen him play a few times. But he's not that standout player that I would think. Oh yeah, I really want him in our side.
Go and watch some of his games. He's dragged Forest over the line.
No, I'm not denying
times.
that at all. He's just not, for me, one of those. That's just my opinion on him. There's various people in the chat saying he's too expensive, or he hasn't really hit the
I think he
heights
will be too expensive.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be paying similar money to what we've paid for Tonali. It's going to be that kind of fee, and I just don't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Again, you've got to think of the Gordon transfer. All the raw ingredients are there. He's technically gifted. He's come through the right setups. He's got the energy.
Yeah,
it could be one of those.
And Acid and Arturo, behave yourselves, will you? Arturo, really, if you have a problem, let's meet. Why is Antacid going to travel over there to meet you just to have an argument about a football?
He's got to go to Fulham first.
Well, yeah, indeed. So behave yourselves. You're both members of the channel, both established members of the channel. Let's not fall out. Alan J90 Game, thank you for your €5. He says, hey guys, love the channel. Greetings from Slovenia. What do you think that Newcastle should go? Maybe for Luka Modric on a loan deal and try to buy Diego Jota this summer. Interesting one. Revenger has sent another 35,000. What, Billy?
Indonesian rupiah.
I'm going to hear Billy's voice saying that all night now. Even when I try and fall asleep tonight, it's going to be there. Who our dream 6 but realistic? Hang on a minute. Who our dream 6 but realistic? So Bruno can play 8. Well, the conversation on a number 6 is interesting, to be honest. So, I mean, where does Gibbs-White play again, Alex? What position is he?
I mean, he plays anywhere in a front 3, but he plays as a 10. I mean, I can bring it up on SofaScore.
Like Madison, a younger Madison, isn't he?
Right. Okay.
Maybe not quite, but I guess. I've just typed in Gibraltar. Now I wonder why they lost so many games. Gibbs Wait.
404 likes for it now, guys. So you've got about 15 to 20 minutes to get us up to 600 likes for a giveaway. Come on, hit the thumbs up button, guys. We've got 872 people in the chat. If you all hit that thumbs up button, we will hit the target. So please, guys, 600 is our target tonight. Let's smash it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing generally on the right-hand side. They've given him the number 10 shirt. Again, SofaScore lists his strengths as anchor playing, pressing, playmaking, high pressing. It's what we've said. Obviously, you've got to understand that FB Ref has kind of changed the data when Opta took them over. So you can't see quite as much of a lot of what he does well, you don't see on FB Ref unless you go proper digging for it.
Yeah, Niall makes a good point, though, there. You know, it'd be hard to get either of these two players as they've just transferred to their new clubs last summer.
No, Gibbs-White went to summer before.
Was he? Is Gibbs-White, was he at Arsenal? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
You're thinking of
of someone else.
Kieran Gibbs.
Is it? Oh, well.
He was at Wolves, Morgan Gibbs-White.
Sheffield United
Right, okay.
on loan, then he went to Forest, didn't he?
Yeah, he was at Sheffield United when they they lost the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs, semi-finals, whatever it was.
Let's behave, guys. Mods, can you just we'll time you out if you keep going like that. It's a bit silly. Just pack it in, guys. Right. Tom says he's a very good player. Tend to agree with Paul. Too expensive and don't need him that much. Foxy says Gibbs-White was a standout in the Euros under 21 English. Bags of ability, but could be too expensive.
100% agree with all of that.
Yeah, I think that's where my thought process is coming on Gibbs-White, to be honest, because, you know, for a lot of money, he hasn't set. I mean, I know he's done well at Forest, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't exactly set the world on fire.
I think he's been kind of hampered this year. The fact he's been injured for quite a little bit, hasn't he? And they're playing Chris Wood up front. So any assists that he might have got with Iwani, he's not getting them with Chris Wood. Yeah, but I think Morgan Gibbs-White's a fantastic player. I think he's got lots and lots of potential, and he can cover more than one position. However, the price is a bit pricey, I would imagine, unless he can kind of say, "Well, I want to go," you know, stamp his feet, if you like. You know, Champions League side after him, and might say, "Let me out, let me go." But Forest are in the box seat, aren't they, with the price? So,
yeah. Paul Tully makes a good point. He says, how do we sign a 6 when we have Big Joe, Longstaff and Bruno all starters? So who drops out to sign a dedicated 6?
Eddie Howe said he thinks we've got 3 6s in the squad already. That would probably mean 2 now with Tonali. So we're not even looking for 6. Absolutely.
Mrs. Toon Review in with a warning. Keep your comments respectful. Please, everyone has their own opinions. Don't upset Mrs. Toon Review. If she stands in, then we do have a problem. Anyway, Ian says it would depend. Give up, man. Daisy says hit the like button. Indeed she does.
Where are we now?
We are at 452, so 148 likes to go.
There's
Come on, guys.
In the chat. Come on, lads.
Nearly 900. Come on.
Takes 1 second. 1 second to do that.
It absolutely does.
I mean, the next player we're reviewing is very interesting. So if you want to see it, hit the like button as well.
Okay. There you go, guys.
Best to last.
Jackie says no to Gibbs-White, but no reason why. If you're not sure of a player, just put in the comments why. Just so we can have a discussion about it. Be intrigued to know why. Whether you share the same opinion of me. Is that why you're not keen on him, or is he just not a big enough name? Because a lot of fans now look for transfers and they're looking at all the big names, aren't they, rather than who could come in and do a job for us.
I mean, in them European under-21s where Anthony Gordon got player of the tournament, you couldn't have argued if Morgan Gibbs-White got it. He was that good. He was outstanding.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Kendo says need a Euro problem striker instead, though we do have Minty in the wings. Yeah, listen, we're going to do a show very soon on the loan players. We're going to have a look at how all the loan players are doing this season, and we'll go from there. And I said, your apology is accepted, my friend. No problem at all. So we will cover all the loan players and see how they're doing this season, which I think will be a very interesting show, guys, because there's some standout loan players doing really well, especially Minty, in a league where Ajax are an absolute mess right now. It's fair to say. Of course, he's not there, but I'm just saying that they're having a terrible time over there at the minute. Ian says, I'm not sure we actually need anyone at the moment. I think future signings have to be instant first teamers now. Youth-wise, we are set. Interesting.
No, that's naive. I'm sorry. I disagree with that.
Why?
You don't want to stand still. That's not how football works.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. You have to keep...
It's not standing still by buying first-team players now and still investing in the youth, is it?
No, okay, that's fair, but you still need to recruit. Yeah, but the issue is that comes at a price. Recruiting youth who are also at the standard of a first team player comes at a premium. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So it's about look at the sort of transfers we've gone for with Minte and Qual. We've gone for players who could be as opposed to players who currently are. So it's taking a gamble on certain players to progress them, to save us a lot of money in the future and to have that drip sort of fed academy feel. You know, there needs to be a balance. And at the moment, we don't have a young striker. Where's the young striker? Where's the 18, 19-year-old, wide forward who can play centre forward? That'd be, that's kind of, I would imagine, on the list, especially now Isak's ticked over into 24 years old. He's a lot older than a teenager now. He's still young, but he's not young. There are certain positions, again, at centre half. We've obviously got Alex Murphy through, but then... that there are definitely positions. And again, look at the right wing. I love how both of our right wingers right now, but 28 and 29? So there's definitely room for adding, and we might not, and let's say this might be a perfect idea. Instead of bringing in somebody who's ahead of Miggy and Murphy straight away, why don't we bring in somebody who maybe can be better than them in 18 months to 2 years? Might be the perfect idea.
The Ruffiad Birmingham has a very interesting one for a loan deal.
No.
The season has, of course, finished. MLS.
I have got that exact vibe for the next player, but we're only going to look at him for like 2 minutes. So then we'll swap into the real one.
Go on, put this. I'm intrigued now.
Right. Well, the final player of the evening tonight.
We've got 2 more players, but this one's a quick.
Okay.
Sneak peek.
The penultimate player is. And just before we do that, Geordie Boy, thank you very much for your £7 super chat. He says, can't deny Gordon is my hero. He has total pride in the team he plays for. Thank you very much, Geordie Boy. And the player is... Wow, okay.
It's not Ruben Neves. Sorry, guys. I just thought a few people have mentioned Modric in the chat tonight. And I just thought, you know what? The links technically do exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Let's have a little look. Because this is either going to go one of 2 ways. Scratch that. This is going to go one of 5 ways. He's either going to go back to Zagreb in Croatia. He's going to retire at Real Madrid. He's going to go to America. Or he's going to come to us, I think. And that's 4 ways. What was the 5th one? I knew there was another one. Maybe Saudi. Probably not. So I could see him going to Zagreb. I think that's very fitting for him. Or I could see him retiring at Madrid. However... A little swan song, a little 12 months in a cheeky Premier League side. Yes, I'm aware his wages are stupid. I'm fully aware of that.
I mean,
however,
how many 38-year-old players do you know who are paid €420,500 a week? Holy cow!
That's 4 Kieran Trippiers.
Yeah,
it's stupid. It's so much money. But yeah, again, he's going to go somewhere. Very probable he retires at Madrid or goes somewhere sort of PSG / maybe he'll go and join Messi. Who knows? He'll go somewhere like that. However, let's entertain the idea. Why not? His contract's up at the end of this year. Would he give 12 months to somebody in England? I was going to say the UK then. I don't think he's going to go to Celtic. Sorry, Celtic fans. But still, we'll have a look. Just in case, this happens. Frank Lampard went to City for 12 months. Like, these things happen. It's really weird. That's why videos exist on the internet of transfers you forgot happened and ha ha ha. You never know. You never know. So just for the fun of it, there he is. He's 38. It's stupid. He's so good. He's so good. He's doing that with a walking stick practically. It's absurd.
We should have signed him 15 years ago when he was 23. How ridiculous!
Yeah, we did. We did have a chance, didn't we? Yep.
But I mean, it's just somebody that can just plop in as cover, who can play anywhere in the midfield three,
Yeah.
who is outrageously good. Obviously, he's not going to be able to do the. I say he's not going to be able to do the pressing. I mean, he's not. He's still fairly mobile, but bring him in to play 20, 25 matches and be a rotation player to influence and improve for 12 months. Look, if he ends 20, if he gets to the end of the summer and he goes, don't fancy Croatia yet. Though I kind of want another challenge for another 12 months. You never know. Probably not. Anyway, we'll move on because he's not the last player.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really fun to have a little look.
Revenger32, thank you for another 35,000. Says, let's reach 600 likes. Let's go, everyone. Well, we're currently on 523 likes. We need to get to 600 for the mug giveaway. So please hit that like button. We've still got nearly 900 watching. Just take a bit of time out and hit the thumbs up button, guys. It's so important to the channel. But thank you for another super chat, Revenger. That is very, very kind. And our final player of the evening is Florian Wirtz. And I know for a fact I've pronounced that correctly as well.
Leverkusen are going to hate us, ain't they?
Yeah, if we steal both of them. Where was he born, Paul?
He was born, Alex, in Brauweiler in Germany.
Oh, well done. No, that wasn't bad.
Thank you.
And do you know what that means in English?
I don't speak any German, Billy, unfortunately.
I hope you don't.
Brown half a dog.
Brown half a dog.
Brown half a dog.
Well, I suppose it's instead of Rottweiler, which is red, whatever it is, Brow is brown, isn't it? So essentially, it's a brown dog, isn't it?
Well, I can assure you, he's a lot more than that.
Guys, it is just an education on this channel. It really is. I never thought that those words would be spoken tonight, but there you have it.
Although dog in German is Hund, of course.
Let's not even go there.
Hund, I said Hund.
I know you did. Come on then, Alex. Let's see what this player can bring us.
So, I mean, we've looked at this kid on the show before. He's been outrageous and quite well known since he was about 18, and then obviously known in sort of football manager nerdy circles prior to that. He's just outrageous. The kid is absolutely like, this kid will play for. This is the kind of kid that plays for a select number of clubs, the same as Bellingham has just done. Florian Wirtz will play for Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSG, Man City, possibly us. Possibly it'll be one of those. This is that kind of player. He'll be at one of those clubs. He's a freak, absolute superstar. He was amazing 2 years ago. He's still amazing. He's had a bad injury and he's come back and he's still playing very, very well. Just over 500 minutes again for somebody who's very, very young, with 4 goal contributions, with a goal and an assist in the Europa League as well. So he's a young sort of athletic midfielder, right-footed. Let's go down and have a look at the data. It is, oh God, we're all over the shop. Zoom in a tiny bit more. There we go.
I mean, plenty green is always a good thing, as Antacid would say. So, yeah. Well, for people saying January, by the way, I'm not necessarily these are players for January. I'm just saying players we're linked with. I'm not stating that any of these could be a January move, possibly, but I'm just stating that we've been linked with them. That's it. So yeah, this kid. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Look at the successful take-ons is 96th percentile, 3.66. So when he goes to actually try and dribble past you, he wins every time. But then have a look at his ball progression through passing, 97th percentile, 7 progressive passes a game. Then you look at his pass completion and passes attempted. It's just one of those incredibly technically gifted players. Shot creating actions is elite. The assists total per 90 is elite. Again, his defensive metrics, considering he's just come back from injury as well, is not bad, and he's got a lot of creative attacking license. It's pretty filthy, to be fair. I mean, he's also played as a forward as well, which makes his data look even more outrageous if you put it as a forward. It's just absolutely mental. I mean, who do we want to compare him to? Let's bring up his. Where's he playing at the moment for Leverkusen? I mean, on the pitch. Let's try and
put him against. Who should we put him against? Should we put him against Maddison? Let's put him against Maddison. I want you guys to have a good point of reference to a player who plays in the Premier League that we've seen a lot of. Right, so let's go back to Wirtz, and then he should be in the recently searched players. And if we go down to our little graphic, we'll be able to overlay James Maddison. There we go. So Florian Wirtz in the green. We know James Maddison is a cracking player. So green is Wirtz. Green is Wirtz. So when you look at the passes, ball progression, successful take-ons, this is a 20-year-old in the Bundesliga. You can see what he's about. Obviously, Maddison's shot volume is way higher. But in all honesty, I mean, Madders has got the interceptions, tackles, shot total.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Wirtz could add that to his game as he grows a bit, but it's all there. It's all there. He's a 20-year-old. I mean, he's got a lot of facets to his game that a player like Maddison's got. His output is outrageous. I mean, if we look at what he did...
Alex, so on that graph you're on now, I noticed it had you could look at, obviously it's got him as a midfield. Go back to the... Go
you want me to do him as a forward?
No. Yeah. Not on that graph, though. The other one. Go back to where the green lines are.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him as a
Oh,
forward.
my flaming God. I mean...
Yeah, but he normally plays... He's playing sort of behind your...
Yeah, he's not
your Adam Klozeks before and your Boniface now. So I'd use the term forward loosely. He's generally behind the big guy up front. There's always a big, powerful guy up there. So he gets a little bit more space potentially if he can get in between the lines. But yeah, I mean, if you want, we can compare it. If we put him as a forward, we can always pop him against. We haven't got any of the bloody strikers on anymore.
It's all right.
I
just wanted to see, just for reference, what just to have.
I mean, stat matches gives you a good idea. Mahrez, Cabella, Julian Brandt, Dybala. You can see you can see the vibe. I mean, he's always played. Remy Cabella has put out amazing numbers and played very well in France. He just didn't do very well in the Premier League.
Well, I don't think you got a chance
versus
in the Premier League, to be honest.
Oh God, look at him versus forwards. Look at him versus forwards.
Oh dear me,
that's funny.
Wow.
So yeah, you can see what he's about, and obviously you've got to factor in his injury when we look at the data. So his breakthrough season, where everybody realized kind of how crazy this kid was when he was 18, 7 goals, 10 assists as an 18-year-old. It's just, and that was only 22 starts, 24 appearances as well. So that wasn't in that's stupid. Like 17 goal contributions in only 22 starts is stupidly good. It's insane. Top of the league at the moment, are they? Okay. 1 goal, like I said, 1 goal, 3 assists. He came back from injury last year and still managed 1 goal, 6 assists. He's just elite. Like I said at the beginning when we brought up his name, this kid is going to play for your Bayern Munich, your Real Madrid, your PSG. He's going to play for that top club. Hopefully, we're in that conversation when the transfers next come around.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Billy. What do you think of him? It's I mean, no brainer, really, is it?
He's an outstanding footballer, and not yet at his peak, nowhere near it. So he's another one that we said before, youth with first team now. He's one of those. Quite expensive, I imagine, but
we would have to break our transfer record to get him. I'm sure of it.
By some distance, I'd say as well.
Yeah,
I think you're looking at 80 million minimum for him.
Indeed.
Minimum.
38 likes away. We've got a couple of minutes left, guys. We need 38 more likes. Please do hit the thumbs up button, and we will give away another mug. So please, 38 is all we need. There's still over 837 people in the chat. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the thumbs up right now. Get us over 600, guys, and we will do a giveaway. Thank you very much. So out of the players you've seen tonight, we are currently on 571, so 29 away. Billy, out of the players that you've seen tonight, who would be the standout one that you would love to see in a black and white shirt?
Wirtz to be the standout. I think out of the 3, I think Gibbs-White's probably the most gettable.
I'd agree with that. I mean, look, Gibbs-White's going against some very, very, very talented players there. Boniface has had an absolutely fabulous start of the season. You look at Florian Wirtz, for me, I mean, he's a standout player. For me, he would be, I'd love to see him in a black and white shirt. Modric, I mean, look, on a loan for a short-term loan, I think would be fabulous. I don't think I've seen a few comments tonight saying that he probably, would struggle playing Eddie ball, if that makes sense. And I actually agree with that. I think the high tempo that we play at might just kill Modric.
If he makes 20 to 20 again, it would. I don't think it would be any more ever than 12 months, and he would only play 20-25 fixtures. So,
but that might suit me with the Tonali ban, mightn't it? So it might suit us down to the ground, really.
Yep. 7 away from 600 likes. You've got about a minute left before I end the show if we don't get those 7 likes. Arturo, thank you for apologising to Aunt Acid as well. It's nice to see that we can all be friends, but at the end of the day, that's very big of you to do so. So well done, matey. I'm going Florian Wirtz tonight out of the players I've seen.
I'd go Wirtz as well.
I really, really want to see him in a black and white shirt now, but whether that happens, I mean, what sort of transfer fee do you think? If you would just to roughly guesstimate.
For Wirtz, minimum of 90 million, minimum.
I think if we bid 80, they'd say go fish.
Yeah, I think you're looking at
the worst version of go fish.
That's very true. Anyway, we have surpassed 600 likes. Well done, guys. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So it is time to do another giveaway. So I am going to get my little magic spin and wheel up on my screen.
While you're doing that, I think this is the kind of transfer, and I know people are going to hate this, but I think a few of you know I'm going to say it. This is the kind of transfer that happens if somebody meets Bruno's release clause. I know it's not a like-for-like position, but this is the kind of thing that I think will happen potentially if anybody meets that, which I'm a little bit concerned if they may.
Indeed. Anyway, here we go. I'm giving 2 away. I've decided I'm giving 2 away. So the 2 winners tonight. The first one is Julie J. Well done, Julie J. You have won a Daisy mug. Congratulations. You know the drill, Julie. Send me an email, put in the comment, in the subject, Daisy mug, and of course your address, and we'll get one of them off to you ASAP. Next winner. God, this is it's slowing down now. Ian A, you have won a mug. Well done, matey. So those are the 2 winners tonight. We will have some members giveaways tomorrow as well, and a viewer giveaway tomorrow. I've got some more stuff to give away, so we will be having a big giveaway tomorrow night on the show. So make sure you tune in for that as well. 7 o'clock tomorrow night, we go again. Guys, Billy, can you just end the show because I've got my son calling us?
Yeah, of course I can. So that's the end of the show tonight. We've looked at 3/4 players. Stato, what are we doing our Dortmund thing tonight for Patreon?
Yeah, we'll be doing the Dortmund. If you are a member of the Patreon, you do get to listen to the Dortmund preview a day early because we'll do that now. But don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the YouTube version of the Dortmund preview. It's going to be absolutely massive. Make sure you come and check it out. If you've not been watching the Bundesliga this year, we've done some watching of Dortmund, so it'll be all talk about the Dortmund game.
That's that, building up for the Dortmund game on Wednesday. So until then, it's good night from me and Stato.
Away the lads and lasses.
And now I've got to try and find the music to get us out of here. Okay, good night, everyone.
Come back and check out some green.